So let's talk about how I turn all of this into this. So this is the keto egg white bread. So keto because it's, well, completely zero carbs and there's no grains in it. So it's beyond, gluten-free and grain-free. So there's no nuts used either. So it's basically protein, protein, protein. So as you can see, this is what I managed to get with it. And the texture, it does have the texture of what I call sponge, just like regular bread. So it's got that perfect moistness. Took a lot of practices to get this kind of, the air fryer is pretty good, but you can do it in a regular oven too. So the first and most important ingredient is obviously liquid egg whites. So you can easily get this like this without having to waste loads of egg yolks. The reason why there's no egg yolks in this recipe is because the egg yolk is primarily a blob of fatty acids. So this method, it has a lot of air whipped into it, like you're making a meringue. So any fats, you do not add fats because fats will knock out the air and shrink the mixture to a dense liquid, the density. So I do not include egg yolks personally as well because I react weirdly to egg yolks. So, but I react very well to egg whites. So first of all, you basically start with this in a bowl and you whip it up like you're making a meringue. So what I like to do with the basic additives, I call them, is I like to gather them all together in a jar. So I've measured them out in a jar. So, and by additives, what I mean is vitamin C powder, which is a natural preservative. This is rosemary powder, which is also a natural preservative, and also rosemary is amazing for the brain. We have a little bit of Bob's Red Mill baking soda, and that goes with the potassium bicarbonate. So I like to use potassium bicarbonate. It's one of my little hacks because it doesn't have that fishy, salty kind of flavor that a lot of it's quite problematic with baking sodas in free-from cookery. And then we have a little bit of cream of tartar with it. So it's like a leveling agent for when using egg whites. We have a little bit of Celtic or Celtic sea salt, however you like to pronounce it. And we also have the allulose, which is really important because the allulose actually acts, it works in combination with the vitamin C crystallization in it. Now allulose, it's not a polyol like xylitol or erythritol, so it's actually got a lot of really good data for diabetes and being quite good for the microbiome of the gut bacteria, but without the upsets of the stomach. So it's keto friendly. Another brand of allulose is this. It's not really sugar, it's the brand's called sugar, but it's very good. So it's FODMAP friendly as well. See, it doesn't have the polyols or the FODMAPs, so which is why I like it. And it's got some metabolic benefits. So, and then of course the secret to the springiness, so it adds a bit of that bounce and melds everything together, is 3 scoops of gelatin powder. So that's also included in the additives mix. And last but not least is the tiniest pinch of professional grade xanthan gum, but that's at the very end. This is not included with the additives mix, because this is only sprinkled on in the very end, the last thing that's added, and it's the tiniest amount, literally like whatever, like 1 gram. It's like a fine dust powder, and that's also to do with texture and binding. So some people don't need to really bother with this, but I like to add it just for that perfection, because without this, the crystallization of the vitamin C is a little bit crystally, although that is quite a nice texture if you want to dip it in sauces and stuff. And then this is for the baking paper. So you put the baking paper in your air fryer or your loaf tins. It just helps, you know, makes life easier. And then I spray some MCT coconut oil on the baking paper, just for, you know, it's not being mixed in with the mixture at all, because that will kill the mixture. So, but it just adds that bit of, and of course it's because it's MCT, it's a safe, it's not inflammatory like seed oils. And then of course, after all the additives have been sorted out, we've got the egg white powders themselves. So this is the main one that I use. It's by Peak Supplements. So, and it's one of the best quality ones. It doesn't smell of eggs at all. So, and it is just basically egg white powder. And this is a different brand of egg white powder. It's slightly different texture. It's softer, but both are very good. Mainly this one though. You will need a fine sieve when adding this into the whisked up egg white. So just think of the order. So we've got this, and then we whisk it up. We add a tiny little bit of water, maybe just like a sort of 30 mils, and then you're adding the additive mix, which is this, and this. And then once that's mixed in, it does take a while to like mix it with a whisking machine. Do not do it by hand, you'll be there forever. So once that's mixed in, then you start adding your egg white powder and you sieve it finely with the sieve. You can add things in, you know, flavors, bits. Like I love to add some of this. It just gives it, and this is medicinal as well. Also oregano. And, you know, sometimes I like to add some of this cardamom powder. That's in French. And yeah, you can add, this is good, this is French, orte picante, but you can't guess what that is. It's nettle powder. So anyway, yeah, so there we go.